The Whispering Forest. Deep in the heart of the forest, where sunlight barely pierced through the dense canopy, a young couple decided to take a late-night stroll. Jenna and Mark had been together for 3 years and had always enjoyed their little adventures, but tonight's journey had an eerie undertone. The forest was known for its unsettling legends. Locals spoke of a spectral figure that wandered the woods, seeking revenge on those who disturbed its peace. Though skeptical, Jenna and Mark couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that had settled over them. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to close in around them, their shadows stretching long and menacing. The only sound was the crunch of leaves beneath their feet and the occasional rustling of unseen creatures. The air grew colder, and a heavy silence enveloped them. Mark, trying to lighten the mood, joked about the ghost stories. Jenna forced a laugh, but her eyes darted around, noticing the growing darkness. "Let's turn back," she suggested, her voice trembling slightly. They agreed and began retracing their steps, but the forest now seemed unfamiliar. The path they had walked was gone, replaced by an endless maze of gnarled trees and twisted branches. Panic set in as they realized they were lost. Suddenly, Mark froze. He had heard something, a faint whispering, barely audible but unmistakably menacing. Jenna clutched his arm, her fear palpable. "Did you hear that?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Mark nodded, eyes wide. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of ghostly voices mingling with the rustling leaves. They could make out snatches of words. "Betrayal, revenge, you're next." They broke into a run, their breaths coming in ragged gasps. The forest seemed to shift around them, the whispers growing more insistent, more desperate. Just as they thought they might find their way out, they stumbled upon an old, decrepit cabin. Its windows were dark and foreboding, but they had no other choice. They fled inside, hoping it might offer some refuge. Inside, the air was stale and cold. The walls were covered in strange symbols, and the floor was littered with old bones and tattered clothing. As they caught their breath, they noticed something chilling, a single word carved into the floor. Trapped. The door slammed shut behind them, and the whispering grew louder, filling the cabin with a cacophony of voices. Mark and Jenna huddled together, their fear reaching its peak. Shadows danced on the walls, and an oppressive darkness seemed to seep from every corner. Then the whispers stopped abruptly, replaced by an eerie silence. The temperature dropped sharply, and Jenna's breath came out in visible puffs. Mark turned to her, his face pale, but before he could speak, the room was engulfed in darkness. When the forest rangers found the cabin the next morning, it was empty. There were no signs of Jenna and Mark, only the word "trapped" etched into the floor and the faint echoes of whispering that lingered in the air. The forest, as always, remained silent, guarding its dark secrets closely. To this day, those who venture into the forest speak of a chilling wind that carries the faint, desperate whispers of a couple who are said to be forever lost, seeking escape from the vengeful spirits of the Whispering Forest.